A few videos ago, I spoke about how there has been a surge in investors that are acquiring Amazon FBA businesses for 6, 7, and even 8-figure sums. Now, some of the biggest names out there, such as Perch and Thrasio, they have got billions at their disposal to be able to invest in the best up-and-coming private label brands on Amazon. Now, funnily enough, when I did that video the very same week, I received an email from one of these investors stating that they wanted to buy my Amazon FBA business. Now, you guys know that I love selling on Amazon, and given that I think I'm just getting started in the grand scheme of things, I didn't really want to sell my business yet because I just don't think that any offer on the table would be enough versus what I actually want and versus my long-term potential. That said, I did still think it would be worth having a conversation with this investor just so that I could learn about the criteria that these guys look for in Amazon FBA businesses, how they value them, and the best ways to increase the amount that they're willing to pay. So I had the call, I asked my questions, and now I'm able to tell you guys exactly what was said so that you can get excited about possibly selling your Amazon FBA business in the near future. Now, before we run through the criteria of what investors look for or focus on, I thought you'd be interested to learn a bit more about this investor and how they kind of do their product research. Well, what they told me is that they hire a team of people in Pakistan that basically do insane levels of product research. These guys are looking at thousands of Amazon listings every single month in a lot of detail. And as soon as they find something that passes the criteria of what the investor is looking for, they send the idea over to the investment team. So what type of Amazon FBA businesses or products meet these investors' initial screening criteria? Well, first of all, the business needs to be selling a product or products in a fairly straightforward category. So it's not a product that's complex that can be easily broken, such as expensive electronics or a washing machine or a computer and so on. And this to me made complete sense because as Amazon FBA sellers, these are also the type of products that we look for when we're trying to find products for ourselves to sell. We don't want to be selling a product that's really complicated, that customers not going to understand or break easily, and so on and so on. So that was the kind of first piece of criteria. It's selling a product that's fairly straightforward. Secondly, the product needs to have actual demand from customers, which isn't particularly surprising. But what it also needs to have is social proof, i.e. reviews. Now, the guy that I spoke to didn't have a particular number of reviews in mind, but he did say that they would expect to see plenty of reviews that are, of course, positive. So at least a 4-star rating. And that implies that the quality of the product is high, the customers like it, that there's going to be demand, and so on and so on. The third piece of criteria, and this one was really interesting to hear, was to do with branding. Now, the guy said that a good brand story goes a long way, and this can really be strengthened and showcased within the images and the listing itself. Now, you guys know that I am a massive advocate of private labeling and branding, so it was great to hear that investors do actually place a lot of value on products that have strong brands. So make sure that you work on that, guys. If you're about to launch a product, or if you have a product, just always be thinking, is my brand good? Does it resonate with the customer? Does it kind of showcase that we're a good product seller, etc., etc. Fourthly, investors look at how diversified the product is away from Amazon. So the guy said to me that the ideal split would be having at least 30% of sales off of Amazon, but this amount isn't a deal breaker. It's just something that would positively impact valuation, i.e. the more diversified you are away from Amazon, then the more investors would look to pay. Okay, so let's now cover the good stuff, the real reason that we're here. How much do investors look to pay for Amazon FBA businesses that do pass their initial screening criteria? Well, first of all, before any negotiations can be held, the business needs to be operating at scale, i.e. it's got a decent amount of revenues, which the guy said would be $750,000 to around $5,000. That would be their upper limit. Now, of course, they will look outside of this kind of range, but he said that range there was their sweet spot. Secondly, before any investor is going to be writing any checks, the business actually needs to be making a profit, ideally with a profit margin of at least 15 to 20%, But again, this range isn't set in stone. It just needs to be profitable. Now, if your Amazon business passes the initial screening criteria and it's of scale and it's profitable, then you should generally expect to be offered up to 5 times your annual profits on average. So if you think that you can grow your Amazon business to be generating £8,000 profit per month or 100k per year, that could net you a $500,000 valuation or even higher, which I think is awesome, especially when you consider that an Amazon FBA business generating these kind of profits can be built and developed in as little as 18 to 24 months. Awesome. In addition to paying a massive lump sum payment, some investors will offer a profit share. So that's where you'd continue to work alongside the investor on your Amazon business and they will give you a share of the profits. So happy days, best of both worlds. So that was my conversation with an Amazon FBA investor, summarized in a neat little package for you guys. Hopefully it's got you all licking your lips now at the thought of selling your businesses in the next few years. For me, definitely, I was indeed licking my lips, and despite that conversation, which I did find really interesting, I'm absolutely not ready to sell my business yet. As you all know, I'm having far too much fun growing the business, launching new products, etc., etc. And the valuation that I've got in my head is quite a way off. I know for a fact I need to grow my revenues quite a bit. So, not today, but definitely will consider selling the business in years to come. And you guys should, stay tuned to the channel to see me hopefully achieve that. So if you do want to continue watching me and my journey, if you enjoyed this video and you want to watch other videos on Amazon FBA, tips, tricks, tutorials, whatever, please do ensure that you give me a thumbs up and you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video and it's got you all excited. And that is it, guys. I will see you next time.